Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hi. How are we doing? Are we feeling happy? Healthy? Cheesy? Hi Jojo, how you doing? Hi Fang. Thank you for redeeming first. OB. OB is OB is some. OB is some what it appears to be. It appears to be. So hi Jojo, how you doing? Hi LB, how you doing? I hope you guys are having a good day today. Is Botty is sub Botty sleeping? Is she tired? Can I say wait, can I send you guys a hug? Oh, I can send you a hug, but it just shows up with old B. It shows up with old B. Okay. Okay, what we're really doing today, we are we're playing Getting Over It. Playing Getting Over It. I'm kind of scared, to be honest. I don't know what to expect, but we're gonna try our best. Oh, thank you for the follow. Good, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Hi. Cheers to meet you too. Wow, it is good to see you. Yeah. I hope you're having a good Friday, guys. How was your Friday? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, where's the game? Where's game? Where's game? There's game. This is game. Whoa. Oh, it's a rage game, so it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fine. I'll be fine. Hopefully. I made chocolate covered strawberries. That sounds so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, I hope you enjoy them. Oh my gosh. Also, what is that noise? I thought it was the wind outside, but I don't like that noise. It's scaring me. Which isn't really go very well. She's probably. Oh yeah, of course, of course. Yummy. In my tummy. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know much. I don't know much about this game. Oh wait. Should I make myself smaller? There we go. That's a bit better. Make myself a bit smaller. I don't know much about this game. I know it's a ragey game. I don't know the controls. Maybe I should. I don't like the sound. Why is the sound in this game so stressful? What are the controls? Do I just have to guess? I guess. New game? Should we just jump right into it? Should we just jump right into it? Also, every time, like, I fall back to the beginning, like, I have to do, like, 5 squats or, like, 5 jumping jacks. That's our little challenge. Which I feel like it might be a lot. So, okay, so it's my mouse. Do I have to use any keys? Do I need to use any keys? Is it just mouse? Is it just mouse? Oh, that's okay. It's a very simple just mouse. Okay. Ah. Okay. And then This is so... It's really weird playing with one hand, you know? Because you kind of expect... Oh, wait, my arm is stuck. You kind of expect, my gosh, can I hit down this tree? Oh god. How do I get over this tree? Who places a tree in the middle of the path?
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework,
Oh, hello.
was due, as I have, or if you left your
Oh, someone talking.
to go back after spending an hour in the commute.
Hello.
If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red, but it came up black.
Oh my gosh, this is like Samba.
Best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view. Starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, and what you're about to go through might be too much, feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here.
Oh no, oh no. I'm scared. You can use your other hand for important things like eating cheese. I actually might, to be honest. Okay, oh, okay, maybe... Okay, so arm swing. Wait, let me, let me think. So arm swing, arm swing, arm swing, swing, swing. Oh, why are you so small? I planted that tree, sorry. Yeah, you better be sorry, because if I can't do the first obstacle course, then I think it's literally over. Okay. Okay. Get. Oh. Okay, this is gonna be all my concentration skills, which is like kind of scary. Hello Darion, welcome in. How you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Oh, oh! Don't knock me. Oh. Wait, I'm stuck. Ah! Thank you for making me go bold. I'm exercising. You scored so hard. Not again. I hate when that happens. It's annoying. Oh my goodness. Wait, I'm stuck. My arm is stuck. Is this normal? Oh my gosh. Ah! Ow. Get over! Get over it! No, wait, that's the name of the game. This is so stressful. I don't know how you did this. You might be cooked. No, it's not even 10 minutes in. I can't be cooked. Don't say that. You non-believer. Yeah, you non-believer, you. Okay, can't. I can do this. Okay, I don't want to fall back though. Okay, good. Just move back a little and then, oh my gosh. Okay, don't. Whatever you do. Oh my gosh. Ah! Sun helpless versus indomitable. What is that? I don't even have to say that. Ah! Shut up! Oh my gosh, no, that's not an actual fall though, so that's not gonna count. You know, if it like I fall from the big heights. Falling from a tree doesn't count. Yeah! Oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you see that? I've got some sick skills. Just imagine there's a mountain of OG cheese at the end of the game. Oh my gosh, OG cheese. OG goat's cheese. Yeah. Yes. Oh! No! Get over! Move! OG non-pasteurized cheese. Yeah. Yeah. Back in the days where... Oh my gosh. Back in the days. Back in the days where everyone ate cheese! Woo!
Alright, thanks for coming with me. I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the game. And don't worry, I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
Aww. Thank you, kind person through the screen. I've got this on the phone. I haven't finished it yet, though. Wait, this is on the phone? No way. Oh my gosh. Let me know how that goes. I'll go, thank you, thank you. You actually have an accent that reminds me of a cheese lady. I watched on TikTok when I still had it. Wait, what cheese lady? Wait, can you tell me? I would love to watch this cheese lady. Is it me? Am I the cheese lady? You tried it on mobiles on Holy. Really? Yeah, I can imagine that being... Well, how do you play on mobile? What do you... I don't even know. What would you do? Just shake your phone and hope something happens? It's like... I love his sound effects, though. Ah. Ah. Oh! Oh! Does that count? Does that count as a full? Is that a full? I don't know. Okay, you guys are gonna have to tell me if something's like an actual full or not. Like, are we gonna like count it as like a full back to the beginning or just any full in general? I don't remember her name, but she had some intro about the Church of Cheese, where she'd always say, "Today we worship cheese." I actually kind of love that. I feel like I need to meet her.
Just lost a lot of progress.
Oh, thanks.
That's a deep frustration, a real punch in the gut.
That's just mean. You drag your finger across the screen instead of moving your mouse. Oh my gosh, that's so awful. That's horrible. It's not hard to think. I've done pretty good things with it. That doesn't sound very fun though. I mean, is this fun? Yes. Ah! Oh! 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 Actually, she doesn't sound like you at all. My brain just made a random connection. Wow. Do you want her name? Sure. Well, I'll try and remember it. But I love anybody that loves cheese, you know? You know? Okay, come on. No way. No way. That can't be her name. That can't be her name.
This game is a homage to a free game that came out.
If that's her name, I'm gonna go crazy.
The author of that game was
No, it is. No, because okay. If you're like, no, that's crazy.
Rough assemblages of found objects. Designers slap them together very quickly and freely, and they're often too rough and unfriendly to gain much of a following. They're built more for the joy of building them than as polished products.
Thank you. The name sounds familiar. That's literally like so similar to my Osu name. My Osu name is free cheese for... Wait, what's my Osu name again? I can't remember my Osu name. But it's something like free cheese. No, yeah, it's free cheese for some. Literally, they copied my name. Ah! That's crazy. Someone else that loves cheese has this... Oh my gosh. Like, I feel like it's the power of cheese, you know? Power of cheese. Ah! Does this to us. Also makes us scream. Hello, Samba. I love how OB has turned into but it's so funny. Doing this, but it's quite funny. Ah! Do you know? You moved into Samba. You did. You did. Ah! This is like when the Terminator 1000 took the bomb's victims. Wait, are you saying Samba is the villain here? Oh, 69 cheese. That is nice. Wait, should I see how cheesy I am? Well, I'll be 307. Okay. Should we gamble? I'll be gambling today. Well, she made the blue cheese brownies. What? Wait, would that taste nice? I wonder. I love chocolate. It's so weird. I think it's kind of funny though. It's kind of funny. Uh, uh. What? What?
Sorry about that.
Oh, awesome. Everything is awesome. All the chocolate just works with all the candy for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, I love sweets. I love sweets. Ow! I love chocolate. I love cheese. Ah! What you did right, that's actually awesome. Thank you, thank you. I tried my best. Pretty sure you could just put a Weber's original on top of the chunk of blue cheese and still have one more. It would. Wait! Oh my gosh! I'm scared because I literally had Weber's originals before I started my stream, but I had the toffee ones. I'm scared. Oh! Uh, uh. No, I don't think so. I didn't even talk about it unless you're my father. My father's the only one who would know that information. Oh my gosh. Oh no, not this game again. Hi, Moose. Welcome in. How you doing? I hope you're having a good day.
Sexy hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game.
Sexy
It's
hiking.
built almost entirely out of
Nice.
found and recycled parts.
Oh, I'm
It's one of the
sliding.
most unusual and unfriendly games of its time.
I'm sliding.
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has certain essential properties that give the game its flavor. No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Okay, okay. Go clean your room. I don't want to. You can't make me. Hey, I need to like shoot myself in the sky. Reach to the sky. Hi, Ancient Gears. Welcome in. How? Oh, you.
Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
How are you doing? Okay, that has wait. That counts as a fall, right? That counts as a fall. That's definitely a fall. Okay, okay, that's a fall. Okay, we're gonna count the scores up, and at the end, we'll count them all together. That's. I don't like. Okay, this is the first 4 of many. We'll see how many we do. I was gonna say, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. As you can tell, I am. Whenever I scream in agony, all the time, all the time. No, thank you. I want to figure it out myself. I'm not annoyed that much yet. We're gonna be doing this for 4 hours. Do you think I can play this game for 4 hours straight? Do you think we'll like be able to do that?
You can hit the escape key if you need to change the mouse sensitivity.
Oh, thanks. Oh, it's called a cauldron. I was trying to think of the name of the thing. It's a cauldron. That's a good one. You're pretty good. Don't feel too bad. It to Markiplier forever. What does that mean? To actually do it. What? Huh? What's that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? Someone translates. There's always the other kinds of cauldrons start climbing. It's a bit tricky and it involves deleting. Oh, my favorite. 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 Ah! My hand is sweating. I haven't even been playing that long. Ah! Okay. Oh, that was close. Whoop. Nope.
This thing that we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. Mary Pickford.
Whoa. Hello. Oh, thank you, Legally Baby, for subscribing at tier 1. I appreciate it. How you doing? I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're feeling cheesy. It took Markiplier a long time to finish this game, so don't be worried if it takes you a while to... Oh, okay. The more you know. The more you know. Oh, no. It's going to be... Wait, it's not going to be easy. And it's going to test your patience. Okay, let's see if I am patient. That is going to be the big deal breaker today, too. Wait, is that my second fall? Are we going to count? Is that... No, I don't want to count it. Is it? Chat, is this was that the earlier on? Was that my second fall? You're doing good. That's good. I'm glad. Oh, what have you been up to this Friday? Anything fun? If someone give me pie to better places, that is you. I don't have that much memory, but sumbakas got amazing skills. Okay, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's not. Oh my gosh, what is this? Oh my gosh, okay. This is like low-key stressful. Okay, it's born. Man, passing of your legs. Thank you. I'm properly. Oh my gosh. Also, hi Gretch. How you doing? Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Well, I'm probably gonna like count them all, like all the falls up in the end, and just and then like maybe like the last half an hour we can do them all, or should we do it like as we go along, or like at the end? What do you think? Did you woke up from a nap? Oh, how was your nap? Was it good? Nope. Oh my gosh. What do you guys do when your hands are sweaty? When you play this game? Because I was not prepared for this. For sweaty hands. Lick. Ew, I'm not licking my sweat off. That's gross. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Salty oiter. Oiter? What's an oiter? Eater, maybe. Oh, come on, go. Fast. Oh no, wait, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna count like from where I get to my highest and then I fall back down rather than like if I do that I'm just gonna it's gonna keep like doing it, going back down again. So like if I reach my highest point and I fall back down again, we'll count that. Otherwise I will die and I won't have time to do all of that. Oh no spoilers please. No spoilers. I've never played this game or seen anyone play it. Well, really, not really. So, like, it doesn't actually... What was my highest point? I saw the coffee cup up here. That's my highest point so far. So when I get past... Well, I didn't get past it, but I saw it. I was at the barrels. That, like, in between part. Ew. Oh my gosh. Yeah, please be wary, because also other people haven't played it as well. Oh my gosh. What would you say your top 5 cheeses? I'll speak as a cheese lover myself. Wensleydale, cranberry, brie, OG goat, and maybe a camembert. Yeah. OG goat cheese is my new top 5 cheese now, because oh my gosh, stop playing music. Because I tried it the other day and it was really good. Camembert's my goat. Yeah, it is good, isn't it? Why is the music stressing me out? Have you ever tried Missy Fra? No, I haven't. What kind of cheese is it? Ah! No! Okay. Oh my gosh. Save. 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 Oh my gosh. Stress. Stress. It's the Greek sheep cheese. It's really dry and really good. Like what kind of dry is it? Is it like a hard dry? I'm assuming so. Is it crumbly? Because there's some like what's that Norwegian cheese that was like really dry in my throat and it felt like it was scraping my throat. I don't know how to say it, but that cheese I found really difficult to eat. Hello Octoclown, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Thank you very much. I've got my Dr. Pepper, so you know it's serious. You know it's serious when I have Dr. Pepper involved. And also thank you for the love, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Why is this? I need to like chuck myself over like really quickly. Like that. Sheep cheese must be knitted. Wait, must be knitted your cheese socks. Oh, which kind of Dr. Pepper? I just have the original Dr. Pepper. It's really good though. someone's like, I don't know. I think someone's a bit special today. Someone actually is not someone. Someone is. Oh, oh, wait. Let me think about this. Oh, what are you doing? Okay. Otherwise it's kind of stressing me out. It's kind of like Parmesan. Oh, I see. See, that's not. I'm not a big Parmesan fan, to be honest. And I just like Stilton, so we can agree to disagree. What's your question? Still me. Hello, what is your question? You'll ask someone a question and you're responding. Okay, I'm scared. Okay, okay, I need to like chuck myself. Check yourself before you shrek yourself. Okay, like I need to think about this. Like, ah! Okay, I need to like go. I need to go. I need to go. Go. No. Oh. 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 Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so stressful. um, 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 it's like a dry parmesan, but it's a very distinct.
Take a break. It's okay.
No!
I've saved your progress.
Oh, it saves your progress. Oh, that's nice.
Anyway, when you start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this.
It's called sexy hiking.
To the entire rest of the
Oh, I didn't actually know that this is what it was called.
To get over that tree. And a lot of people never got past it. You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct method, or the correct equipment, or just by spending enough time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real.
Why is it so stressful? No. Okay. Is it possible to fall down to the bottom from here? If I get over this point, is it possible? I don't know. Let me know. My favorite Dr. Pepper is cherry. So with the, like here, it's like diet Dr. Pepper, and it's not.
Sexy hiking are unusual,
Oh.
And that makes the game uniquely frustrating.
Oh.
I'm not sure Jazzuo intended to make it frustrating.
No, I'm not a big fan of
just essential to the act
diet
of climbing,
drinks.
authentic to the process of building a game about climbing. Something happened to me as I was building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonable.
Hi, Pokey! How are you doing?
But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past the new obstacle was my fault as a player rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them, and it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
Oh my gosh. Oh, if I fall, I'm gonna cry. I'm so unhappy. How are you doing? How are you doing, Pokey? This is like utter concentration level right now. Okay, I need to like... Wait, I'm scared! I don't want to die! Is that water coming out of his cauldron? Ew. My therapist has told me to never play this game. Why? 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 Stop! I don't know why I'm asking. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm asking why. This is a... Oh my gosh, how did I do that? No, I'm... Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I need to get over it. 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 I can do this. I can lift. I can lift. I can. I am a strong, independent man. I can do this. Ah! Ah! Oh my gosh. Lima bath water. Delicious. My favorite. Because I'm prone to tantrums too. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. I actually don't really rage that much. So, like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Okay, and then it's like I hate that they've done this. I know what they've done. I know what they've done. The panic. No, it's more like panic than rage, you know? Like panic and rage is different. Panic at the disco. Oh my gosh. I don't wanna because I feel like if I go over that rock I'll go out the bottom again and if I go out the bottom I will cry. Oh, I won't actually cry, but like um it's still me. It's always you. It's always you. Oh my gosh, it's so grey up here. Okay, and then go. Oh! Oh my gosh, okay. Oh my gosh, okay. I would just see you raging, but I just see you getting pretty upset because it's just a part of the game. Yeah. It's just a game. It's just a game, guys. It's just a game. Uh, don't rage that much playing playing a rage game. Well, it's to test my limits. Oh, hi, 02. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah. Oh! Ah! Favorite Panic at the Disco song. Okay, my favorite is like the older songs. I don't like the newer albums. Uh, my favorite is hello. Is it London Beckoning? Something? But with like panic songs, I can never remember the titles, but I know the vibes. I feel like I have to go on this one, but I don't want to. I don't want to, but I feel like I have to. Whoop.
The soul would have no rainbow had the eyes no tears. John Vance Cheney.
I knew this would happen. I knew it would happen. Oh. 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 Would you? No, guys. Let me play this game for an hour before I get tips, okay? Let me just play. Let me just chill. Okay. I know which one to talk about. If I'm right, it's the same as mine. My second baby, oh god, number two. Oh, so good, so good. Classic. classic album, honestly. Oh, thank you for the high grade hydrate, Big Sugars. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. It's good to see you. It's always possible. It will be possible. I will do this. I will do this eventually. And we will suffer and cry. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be funny. You guys can laugh at me. You can laugh at me for screaming. Maybe headphone users beware. Oh, whoop. Good luck, thank you. I will need it. I will need it today. Whoop, whoop. I'm sweating. I'm sweating so much. But like, I don't know if it's like I'm sensing the guy's energy right now. So like I understand his pain of being absolutely jacked. I'm joking, I'm not. But I've never panicked at the disco, but I've definitely panicked in other places. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I guess I could say I have. Like I kind of panicked like at proms. Is prom a disco? I guess prom could be a disco. I hated prom. I hated prom so much.
That's the deal. C.S. Lewis.
Oh, this, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. I need this today. I need to be believed in. Oh, this part's such a pain in the butt. I just need to keep going. I just need to get over it. Easy, easy, easy. You never went to prom, you know? I kind of wish I didn't, to be honest. Like, especially, like, in my school, like, you know, I don't think I missed any.
I feel within me a peace above all earthly dignities, a still and quiet conscience. William Shakespeare.
Okay, okay, I got there a lot quicker this time. Okay, 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 I'm here again. Okay, that didn't take too long, to be honest. Okay, okay. Let's just hope I don't fall again. Just keep climbing, just keep climbing. Climb to the top and never ever stop. And then I need £1,000,000. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. I went and played the Magic. Played in a Magic the Gathering tournament set. What's that? What is it like actual magic? If so, that's pretty cool. Okay, okay, okay. What is this part? What is this? What is this? What? How the cheese and onions? Oh. Why can't? It's so steep.
When you're building a video game world, you're building with ideas.
Okay.
And that can be like working with quickset cement. You mold your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with. And in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable, like rock.
Okay.
At that point, you can't change the world. Not without breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very, very inspiring. You really went because a good friend of mine at the time was going to learn. We both in JROTC. I don't know what that is. And I didn't want to her to go like, oh, that's nice of you. That's nice. Oh, card game. Oh, nice, nice. Hope you had fun. Uh, uh, is it the card game, the OG, the original? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I'm ready. No, that's not some bots. Nope, nope. Yeah, I'm not a card gamer. Actually, like after the stream the other day, my dad was like, "Oh, the card games like are like Snap," and I was like, "Oh, I know Snap. I know Snap. Snap is my favorite card game because it's easy to understand for my brain." Oh my gosh, this is like trying to use all my brain cells.
You've done this part before. You know it's possible.
No, I
Just do what you
haven't.
did the first
I
time.
haven't. I haven't done this part before. Stop lying to me. Stop lying. Er, er. Ah! Stop lying to me. And then I need to like, oh my gosh, whoa, whoa. A lot of people played have played Yu-Gi-Oh. It seems. I I tried to play it, like genuinely actually tried to play it and understand it, but the rules are too much for me. I don't follow the rules. I am I am the rule breaker, yeah, of card games. Uh, military program in high school. Oh, nice. Oh, like you had like a specific program in high school for that? That's really interesting. Oh, nice. Like I guess like in like here we'd have like cadets. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to like wait. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. I need to hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Let me think. Let me think of a. Let me think. Let me think. I need to like lift myself up, then quickly like get onto that light, and then like I feel like I have to do this really quickly. I think a lot of things I need to do really, really quickly. Um, How's your finances? Whoa, that's crazy. Crazy. Imagine like using your finances, like basing your finances on like how good you are on a game, on a card game. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. J j j j j do 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 do. Oh my gosh. Okay. Why is I feel like this might be the hardest part so far. It's like no. So it's such a tight angle. It's no, 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 don't fall. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. You spend thousands of years playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Thousands of you've had oh you've had thousands. Oh my gosh. Gears. Gears. What? Why? Oh my gosh. That okay, Okay, I need to use my core muscles. That is dedication. That is dedication. That is also, I don't know what that is. I feel like I don't know what to say. Because playing competitively isn't cheap. You have to pay to play with people? That's insane. That is crazy. Okay, jump. Okay, wait. Okay, I think I need to like throw myself in the air. Wait, I'm gonna try to do that. I think I can do that. Wait, no, stay there. Stay there. I didn't. No. That's the opposite. That's the opposite of what I want you to do. Uh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Spent a lot of cards. Wait, spent a lot of cards. Oh, yeah, I know cards can be a lot of money, but like paying to play the game is crazy. Nope. Nope. No. 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 Okay, I need to like. Oh!
You cannot now believe that you will ever feel better.
Okay, I didn't go to the. Okay, I didn't fall to the beginning. That's a win.
Truly believing it will make you less miserable now. Abraham Lincoln.
I will never be miserable. I will never be miserable. Okay. Oh, you silly sausage. Playing since 2002, that's crazy. That is dedication. Dedication. Oh, hi, Mr. Detective. How you doing? You're tired? Oh, coming in from a drumline performance. Oh, nice. How did that go? Did you have fun? I hope so. Okay. I mean, there's a way to go all the way to the very start. I don't. Oh my gosh, if I end up having to go to the very start, I'm gonna cry. I mean, I'm pretty much nearly there, so let's not. Let's. I'm trying my best not to go to the very start right now. Oh no! Okay, I guess that counts. Because I did fall for the top. Okay. Oh. It's a matter of playing cards, example. I don't know what those means. I guess it's a type of card. $70 for a single copy. Crazy. Crazy stuff. I mean, to be fair, I buy Legos, so I guess I can't really say much. Other than a blister and a broken rim, God, it went fine. Oh, that's good. You know, blisters are a daily part of life, you know? They're a pain in the butt. Or a pain in the butt, but it's totally not that bad. Oh my gosh, okay. For your favorite deck is $400? That's insane. That's insane. At least there's a start behind a tree. Oh my gosh, if that happens, I'm going to run away and hide behind a tree and pretend that life is good. My sister's hobby nowadays is collecting merch from the band Ghost. Band Ghost. I don't know if I know the band, but I'm pretty. Oh, I think I'm thinking of a K-pop group. Probably not the same. Putting the finger out. Oh, you got blister in your finger! Oh no, that's not fun. Oh, you salad. This game is a precursor to carp. Oh no. Literally in my wrist and my sweaty hands. Ah, you little butt head. Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh my gosh. So they said about Tycho, literally, they did. They literally do. They literally do. Somewhat still OB. I mean, OB, don't you feel powerful though? Oh my gosh. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you actually dare. Don't you be a pain in the butt. Best of card games, crazy. I mean, yeah, I spend my money on Lego and clothes and shoes and lots of things. The Swedish metal band, they got some more area rock over the years. The vocals is good voice. You really might like that song. Oh, nice! That actually does sound like up my alley. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Good that look. Nice. Thanks for the recommendation. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. That's what I think. Around or 10 trimester and 10 shocklands. What's that mean? Oh, is that card talk? It got really annoying as a 7 every morning. A flock of birds would flying past your window every day, screeching their heads off. Oh no, yeah. They're telling you to wake up though. You need to wake up. The birds are out. That means it's wake up time. Whoop whoop. Ah! Okay, okay, stay. Stay. Okay, okay. I haven't even slept yet and they're going nuts. Oh no, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Wait, what time is it for you right now? Is it early for you? Or late? It's probably I'm expensive, but I don't want to hurt myself pricing the Your wife has out specs probably. I don't blame her, but you know, I mean, if it's your like your personal money, I think it'll be fine. But if it's like money that you're both sharing with, then maybe consider it. I mean, how do I justify? 1,500 for one deck, let alone one. Stop. That's so much money. That's so much money. And you want more? You want more? That's insane. Okay, okay. Okay, I have to concentrate. I need to get further than this part. Okay, we're an hour in, and we're at this part. I think we're making okay time. I hope. 6:09 a.m. my alarm's on. I have an alarm because of with 5 concert high E things that when they get closer the radio trying to turn off the alarm. My alarm is like at 6:30, but because it's been so warm, I've just been awake so much earlier, just sweating in my bed, and it's like so disgusting. Oh my gosh, I need to I'm trying to position myself. Oh my gosh, in like a good point. Okay, maybe if I. Oh my gosh, you piece of poo. Ugh. 7 a.m. and the so loud circling back. Oh no, oh no. Oh, that's such a pain. That's such a pain. I bet you're tired. Yeah, I am trying to do that, but I'm trying to get a position that I would feel like would be good enough. Oh my gosh, because I keep falling back like that. So I'm trying to like position myself on that rock because the rock up in the corner on the right up there. Oh my gosh. But I don't know if I can, but you know, we'll try. Yay! Somebot's back! Oh my gosh, we need to celebrate right now. Welcome back, Sombot. Am I cheesy? I lost all my cheese. Okay, I guess not. I guess I'm not cheesy. Uh, I'm really tired, but I'll be tired once it hits 9 or 10 a.m. I've become a night person. I guess in the summer it is like that though, because it's so much warmer. It's a little bit tricky like that. Thank you for the head pats. I appreciate it. Someone please send a cheesy welcome to everyone in chat. Oh, yay! Oh, oh, it's telling you guys what game I'm playing. Well done, Sam. You are so clever. Uh, uh. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, okay. I can do this. I can do this! I need to... Don't. I can do this. I can do this. I promise. Give somebody how I'm getting over here. Yes, no! No, tell somebody to breathe. Take breaks and remember it's about the journey. No, just the summit. Oh, thank you, somebody. Okay, that's the advice I like. Thank you. Okay. How do I breathe? Google, how do I breathe? I guess I need to breathe in. Breathe out. And have a good time, maybe. I'll try to anyways. Tell ssumbaka how to breathe. Breathe was best from a doctor. uh, I guess so. Okay. Stop moving! Stop moving! Ah! Oh, you know what? You can just hang there. Think about what you've done. Think about what you've done right now. Because that's offensive. What the heck? 3,500 is like for the deck itself, and what? That's so much money. That's so much money. How much is it gonna be altogether? Oh, okay, I need to like, okay, stay. And then don't move, don't move. Oh, no! No. Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 Don't think about it. I spent way too much, but it's fun to play. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna try and push it off to this way. Is this gonna work? I don't know. I feel like I'm using so much concentration right now, and I don't even know. I don't even know it's gonna work. No! Okay. And then... Oh my gosh! Ugh. Ugh. Use your muscles! Use your muscles! I know you have them! Come on. Cup. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna cry. Don't cry over a cauldron man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. How did this man end up in a cauldron in the first place? See, that is the question that I want to know. Why is he in a cauldron, and why has he decided this is his mode of transport? Like, what's going through his mind? It's like, oh yes, this is my favorite mode of transport. Just sitting in a cauldron, and just living my life. And I'm like, you know what? I respect the hustle and bustle because that's kind of impressive. Cursed by witch likely. Nah. I would like to imagine that he just fancies this. He wants to set a world record. Everyone needs a hobby. Exactly. And this guy, this is his hobby. And he's like that. He's like that. And I guess my hobby is helping him. I'm helping this dude accomplish his dreams. Uh, uh. At least it's cheaper than my hobby. Exactly. And he's not hurting anybody. He's living his life. All he's spending his money on is cauldrons and a hammer. Do you think someone will get over it? That's $1 billion question. Ssumbaka's super determined. Thank you. I love the compliment. You're faithful to a best sugar is run hilarious so far. You think this is funny, Sumbot? You think this is funny? You're not even a human. How do you know this is funny? This could be really serious. I could be crying right now. Just rage inducing, yeah. That's true. It's the rage. The rage. Okay. This part is a pain in the butt. A pain in the butt and a pain in my jugular too. My throat hurts. If I was this dude, I would just tell him to just get out and start walking. Just climb. Just climb. Just climb. Keep climbing. Do it. Okay, so I can. How far can I lift myself up? Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize there's a door and a window. That's a good point. There is a door and a window. For some reason, I never noticed it being there because I was so focused on this. But imagine someone living there and you just see some guy trying to climb up your wall and you're like, what the? And are we like really straight? Oh my gosh. I'm glad you guys have eyes. So why can't you be taller? Why can't you grow? Move your arms. Okay. Ugh. Pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. It's someone who didn't make it any further, so they just went home. You know what? Imagine just like living here, you know? You're like, yeah, this is my home. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to live there. You're back from a card shop? But you're 10? What? What did you do? Oh, thank you for redeeming. Give my doggos a treat. I'll be okay. I'm gonna get the dogs some treats out from my treat box, and it'll be a good opportunity for me to take a minute to think about my life while I get them. Oh, they're coming up. Ugh. Are my doggies coming upstairs? I got something for you. Oh. Would you like a treat? Would you like a treat? Oh, have you been good today? Ah, kiss for you. And kiss for you. Because I love you. Go on then. Oh. Thank you for giving the doggos a treat. Yeah?
You might need to throw those shoes away.
Really?
Yeah, they're so bad.
Oh, look at me. I need to buy more shoes again.
Well, you should have done that anyway.
Oh.
You've got cider.
Yeah.
Have a consolation prize.
Oh, okay. We're having cider now. Maybe that will help me win. I can't get past this part. It's annoying me.
I got to this part.
Yeah.
And then I refunded it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Yeah, and there is so much more.
Oh.
So much more. You go to space or something, I think.
Oh, don't spoil.
I think. Or you go really high. But it's called. Well, I can watch a couple of playthroughs. But like in the
back 10 years.
background. So I never really watched them.
Oh, cheese dog. Yeah, both my dogs are here, I think, wherever they are.
And Caesar's eating his something.
Caesar.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, chat.
Have a drink. Have a Kit Kat.
No, let's have a break.
Let me pretend I'm funny. Thank you.
You are funny. You're lovely and lovely. And lovely. Words? We just came up with lovely then.
Oh. Hi, Cheese Dad.
How are you getting on? Who said that?
Gretch.
Oh. Hello, Gretch.
Hello, Dio and Cheems. Getting over it. Yeah, we're playing getting over. Oh, you farted!
I thought I'd leave you with a present.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Just like this game. Look. It's like, look at this man. It's like, he just wants me to rage and cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to the top of that bit. There's a lip.
Oh.
You got to use those lights.
I know. I know I have to.
But
the thing is,
about being. I think you might. Have you thought about turning your mouse sensitivity out so you can twitch it faster?
No.
Could try that.
But I want to suffer.
You got further than me. Just by screaming at it.
I'm scared.
Don't. No. No.
Oh, okay, I'm scared. You saw this in the flesh.
I hear it in the flesh all the time. I hear it before it actually happens.
So you know. I am funny. Oh, thank you. I'm glad to.
No, you are funny.
She got this
Not a
like
little
that.
squeaky.
Sorry, I'm just.
Sausage, it's funny.
Okay.
Especially when you fall. I think the entire town can hear it.
Do you think so?
Probably not, but either that or they're thinking I'm killing you. Then they hear you laugh. It's like, oh, maybe not then.
What is she doing? Like, wait, is this tree real? No, it's not. Oh, wait, what do I do? Okay, I need you to move your arms.
That sort of thing, yeah.
Okay, I'm scared. This dude scares me. Oh.
Come on. No.
No.
Harder. Oh, don't.
Trying to be interested.
Don't panic. Don't
I'm
panic.
Not, no.
You are panicking.
I'm not.
Oh.
Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. Mary.
Does that count as a fall?
That definitely counts as a fall.
Ah.
What are you counting as falls and what's not a
Well,
fall?
I'm counting when I go to the bottom, but I'll count that.
No, I think if you fall,
Like a big fall.
yeah,
Okay, that was a big fall.
yeah, that was definitely a big fall.
Okay.
Because you've got a lot to climb back up again. There.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have to do that annoying part again. Oh.
I think that's like the bit that you got to is like half a save point. So if you fall from
Oh.
there, you land on that ledge, but you can still go all the way if you're really unlucky. Oh, anyway, I'm off, sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Come on, you two.
You saw. Ain't no way. I know. I know. I can't believe this. I can't believe it.
Come on, sausages.
Everyone's crying right now. I'm crying. My dogs are crying. Chat's crying. It's a sad day. Oh, no! Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 Am I winning? Am I winning? Am I winning? I don't know. That poor coffee cup just keeps going down. It's gonna go further and further and further. Somebody can need a break. I mean, I have some cider. We could have a cider break. We could take a break, drink some cider. Oh, you sausage face salad butthead. Oh my gosh. Get your head in the game. Get your head in the game.
To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. Friedrich Nietzsche.
You've got some drowning your sorrows.
Guess where I am?
Oh! I brought you cheese.
You brought me cheese. Oh, thank you.
Cheese is very excited.
Oh, okay. Okay, should we take a cheese break? Do you guys want some cheese? So we've got, this one is this the goats one?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got OG goats. And, what's this one? Wallogria. Gria, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Extra mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, got some goats.
You know I do.
Yeah. What kind? I just said. Sounds.
OG goats, yeah.
Wait. How are we gonna do this?
Do whatever you want.
It's kind of hard to cut it though.
It is solid. Yeah.
Oh, should we just use our hands?
You uncouth heathen.
Oh, I would just use my hands. We live in a society. Okay. Wait, do you want that part? And I'll have this part. Okay. Cheers. Cheese. Oats. Goats. Goat. Bear. That one. The animal. Not oats. Goats. We're gonna eat some cheese. I mean, it is really good. It is really good. Are we saving a little bit for Caesar?
No.
Okay.
He's gonna have it crushed. He's not having a nice cheese. It's just too good.
This cheese is so good, yeah.
This is like unusual goat's cheese though, because I don't like goat's cheese, but I absolutely love this stuff.
Well, I like goat's cheese anyway. But yeah. The guy at the shop said like this is like, it's got cow's milk in it as well. So like
pasteurized cow's milk as well.
Yeah. So that's probably why you like it. Because it's still got that like
It's
milky.
gonna get creamy.
Yeah. Creamy taste.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Are we opening this one up?
I wanted to try a little bit of that one.
We haven't actually tried this one yet.
But I'll let them up for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can you take off?
Oh. So, goat cheese or cranberry or blueberries. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh. That sounds so good.
You don't like fresh cranberries that much, do you? You like it in
No, Wednesday dough.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I would like it in the goats. Oh, okay. This one? Are you trying this one?
I haven't been opened yet tonight.
No, but do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
This one?
Cheese, Luna, come on.
The dogs are coming upstairs, but no, not this one. This one's mine. You have your own. Little cheeky.
Warm in here.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm sweating like a sweat.
Caesar, Luna, come here. I'll take the rest of it downstairs with me.
Yeah. Okay. Try. You have half, and I'll have a half. Okay. This one doesn't smell too like. It's not a strong smell. It's really hard, actually.
It's quite tangy.
Yeah. It's a little bit tough.
It is a little bit tough.
Yeah.
I can give crust to Luna because I'll give my crust to Caesar.
Here you go, Lou.
And split that up for them too as well.
I like cheese.
Hmm.
Honey or
I prefer the goats.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Still nice.
You know we've got some really nice Wensleydale.
I know, I
We'll
know.
save that one.
Yeah, because that one's very, very nice. Oh yeah, we got some honey from the cheese shop as well.
Yeah, when we bought those. What
Yeah.
are they? The round ones. Some Dutch thing, aren't they? Or Swedish.
It's goat cheese, but I don't know what kind. It might be.
One's got charcoal and
Yeah.
the other one's got some.
I don't know. Cheese is so
Oh,
good.
it's
Yeah.
so warm in here. Flipping
Tell me
Nora.
about it. Wait, I'll be giving this to the dogs as well.
Is that your crust? Yeah.
Okay, doggies. Do some cheese.
You've not got windows open.
That's probably why I was dying when I woke up this morning. Because when I woke up this morning, I felt like I was like death.
Yeah,
Okay, they're very lucky dogs.
they are.
They have. I've had cheese. They've had cheese. Olbie's had cheese, and we've had a cheese break. No, you've had enough. You've had
Thank
enough.
you very much.
You're welcome. Love you.
Love you.
I-
Come on, you two. Caesar, Luna, come on.
They're so funny.
I know you're addicted to Caesar, but you've had some.
Okay, we've had our cheese break. That's good. Oh, hi Poppy, welcome in. How you doing? Sorry, we just had a mini cheese break. Because you know, this game is a bit of a butt. So did you know there's an American football team that revolves around cheese? Is there actually? Oh, no way. Do they want more cheese? Oh, they are so cheeky. Our dogs want more cheese. They're crazy. They've had a little bit of cheese and they're like, oh my gosh, this is my life. I could just hear my dad downstairs yelling at them. The Packers. Oh, is that the name of the football people? That's so funny. Are they a cheese packer? Because of cheese heads, well, actually, we foam cheese hats to games. Wait. Oh, we wear foam cheese hats to games. Oh, I get you. That sounds fun. I want to do that, but I don't like football. But you know, any excuse to wear a cheese hat, I would be totally down for. Actually, guys, I have a cheese outfit now. I have a cheese outfit. When I get to 2K follows, we'll have another cheese stream, and I'll wear my cheese outfit for the cheese stream. And it'll be a beautiful day. I really hope I can get there. I'm gonna hope maybe for my birthday I can get there. It'll be really cool. I'll be really awesome. I'll have a party. Da, 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 da. Everything is cool when you're eating cheese. Everything is awesome when you're eating lots of cheese. Everything is better when you're eating cheese. Every day cheese is so amazing. BRB, no worries, that's a clown. No worries, you do that, BRB. Technically it was a reference to the meatpacking industry at the time, but it's based in Wisconsin. Oh my gosh, yes. Wisconsin. I love it. I wish it be, yes, I absolutely, that is my dream. Like, that is my dream. I didn't know I had a dream until like last year, and my dream is to visit the cheese caves in Wisconsin and like experience life. That is actually no, I think it's 2 years ago since I've wanted to do that. But still, that's so freaking awesome. I'm trying to do what I did earlier. How did I do it? It was like I did it so quick I didn't even notice it. I'm gonna get a cheese head of your own. Oh my gosh, I will actually do it. I will actually do it. Imagine epically musical, but instead of a big bag of wind, the hero is warned if he opens the cheese, he will never reach his friends. Oh my gosh. Imagine. I think I might actually pay attention to that. Yeah, I tried that before, but like I don't know how I did it when my dad was up here. I wasn't actually like paying attention. I was just going like blah, 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 and I did it. But I tried the punching thing and it didn't work earlier. But I don't actually know what I did exactly. Did I do that? I can't remember. I can't remember. Like I was just in my own zone. I don't know what I did. It's the first thing about when you move to Wisconsin. I'm not there now, unfortunately, but I still consider it home. Oh, oh, I love that. I do love that. That's so lovely. But you know, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Wisconsin has amazing, super sharp white cheddar. I would love to try that. I love cheddar. That sounds amazing. Like, I would love to experience. Last year's Top Chef season was in Wisconsin. Oh, nice, nice. Wisconsin's like every cheese imaginable, but not Stilton. Wait, what do you mean it doesn't have Stilton? I'm pretty sure the cheese caves like store all the cheese. I'm sure Stilton's there. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the workers, but I'm sure they'd have to have some. My ah! Whoop. 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 Ugh. It depends what you get though. Few shops where you can get nail like any kind. Like this is just like I was actually kind of worried that the cheese shop I went to the other day wouldn't have any Wednesday dialing because I couldn't see any like in like the counters. But my dad asked the dude and he was like, "Yeah, we got some here," and he slapped the big lump of cheese. And he was like, "Yeah, we got some here." Iconic. If I had Stilton, I know I could have it all since you don't like it. Exactly, exactly. That's the good thing. It's all for you. All for you. Because I don't like it. Specialty cheese shops are actually considered tourist traps in Wisconsin. Oh, yeah, I bet, I bet. But would I visit one? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you know, I feel like it's my right. It's my right to visit one. And I'll be like, "Do you know who I am? My name is..." Sorry, that was loud. You can have all the Dr. Pepper too. I'll take it. I'll take the Dr. Pepper if you don't want it. I will happily accept. Oh my gosh, I keep... I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Give me the Dr. Pepper. Oh! 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 Oh my gosh. Oh! Dude! Wisconsin is very much a Pepsi state. That's like the only complaint because I'm you're Coke Kelly, but you can get Dr. Pepper anywhere too. You know, you can have your Coke, I'll have my Dr. Pepper, and we can live our lives to the fullest. When you scream, the noise when the noise gate on, the microphone cuts you out. Wait, I think I do have noise gate on. I'm pretty. Wait, oh, is it cutting out? I was gonna say, I think I do actually have noise gate on. Oh, I guess it could be part of the excitement. You like Coke Zero? Nice. I don't. Originally from a town where Coke was invented, I started drinking every from a young age. Oh my gosh. You know what? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to be like, yeah, that's where I'm from. I am from the OG Coke area. You've been to the Inventor's house numbers of time. Oh my gosh. No way. Is he your bestie? Okay, 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 chat. Okay, chat. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, okay. Chat, are we gonna make it? Are we going to make it? Or are we going to fall? I don't know. I'm scared. Also, happy Friday, everyone. Yay for the weekend. Yeah, happy Friday, guys. How was your week? Tell me about your week. I had a good week, but next week I've got a really busy week. I am working like 45 hours, so I'm going to be very, very tired. But also, the Switch is coming out next week as well, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to be so tired, but I want to play on the Switch, so I'm like, what do I do? It's a hard life for me. um, It's part of the historical district of the city. Oh, nice. Want a big casino this weekend, so this weekend has been nice. Oh, nice. What have you been up to? I've never actually been to a casino before. Never ever felt the interest. Go.
For years now, people have been predicting that games will soon be made out of prefabricated objects, bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't happened, because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, though a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage. In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
Thank you. That's very deep. 1,100 USD. Oh my gosh, and just online shopping. Oh my gosh, you know what? Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Wait, is that like your hobby or something? Ah! Don't fall, don't fall. I spent the majority of the week fixing your gaming room up a bit. Oh, nice, nice. Oh, that sounds really cool though. What, are you adding anything cool in your room?
Over
Whoa!
time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast
Oh!
digital landfill that we call the internet.
Wait,
It now vastly outnumbers
what do I do?
the things that are fresh and untainted and unused. When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the digital.
Oh, I love
We can
lingua
build culture
franca.
out of trash. But only trash culture.
English is the lingua
Be games,
franca of the world.
be
Did you guys know
movies,
that?
Be music, be philosophy.
Thank you for the follow, Sonic Wave. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Friday or Saturday, whatever day it is for you. I hope you're having a good week. You're shopaholic. Oh no, oh no. You see, I want to be because I love. What the heck is this? What the heck is this? What the heck? What the heck? What the? Wait, how do I? Wait. Wait. I have to use my big brain for this. Do I swing? This is... Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was gonna say, I want to be a shopaholic too because I love it. I like spending nice things, but I have to try and restrict myself. Yeah. Okay, wait. I'm assuming I have to swing. Yes, I do have to swing.
Maybe this is what digital culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted.
Does that count as a fall? Are we counting it as a fall? Let me know. Is that a big enough fall? Let me know in the chat below. Oh, okay. I got a new desk and I've got a poster of Ancient Gears Reactor Dragon Twitter. So I decided to change the room around, moving the recliner. I got a new desk and to accommodate everything. Oh, nice. Oh. Oh, that'll be nice. That'll be nice for your room. Oh, thank you for the stretch. I appreciate it. Ugh. Oh, I'll stretch my arms in the air. Ow. And then stretch the other arm in the air. Oh, thank you. Hopefully you're stretching your body too. Oh, yeah. Ancient Gears, your favorite arc. Archetype. What's an archetype? Oh.
Life is a mosaic of pleasure and pain. Grief is an interval between two moments of joy. Peace is the interlude between two wars. You have no rose without a thorn. The diligent picker will avoid the pricks and gather the flower. Satya Sai Baba.
No! No! No!
Sorrow is my own yard, where the new growth flames as it has flamed often before, but not with the cold fire that closes round me this year. William Carlos.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. This is my heartbreak. I got so far! I got so far. This is part of the game. This is the part of the game to suffer the consequences for my actions. For not being cheesy. Even though I have lots of cheese. And I deserve it. But this is what I deserve. This is what I deserve. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, speaking of cheesy, how cheesy am I? Oh, I need to wait. Oh, you're making me wait. This is where we fun the game. Like, I don't have the patience for this. No, literally. And there's no, like actual, like, checkpoints, you know? You gotta, like, you just... This is where I refund the game, too. I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not gonna cry. I will never cry. I will never cry. Oh, that's a big emote. Thank you for the big emotes. That's very, very cute. Wait, it looks like Dania. Is it Dania? Looks like Dania. No way. I knew it. I knew it. I recognized it. Recognized the model. We love her. Oh yeah, if you do exclamation mark command, it'll tell you what commands you can use. Steampunk aesthetic. Oh, what kind of game is it? Greek mythology. Oh, awesome. That sounds intriguing. Ah! No! No sum. No sum. Sum. You're going through, like, a breakdown. Breakdown, breakdown. Breakdown, breakdown. Oh my god! The comments finally reached the bottom. I can no longer fall further. The coffee is a representation of my life right now, I think. Oh my gosh, why am I doing some poo-poo now? Oh my goodness. I was doing so well. This is part of the game. Oh my gosh, Sam!
Tongue or pen, the saddest of these. It might have been John Greenleaf Whittier.
What am I doing?
You don't try to please audience, uncritically accepting their tastes. It can only mean that you have no respect for them.
What?
Andrei Tarkovsky.
I have respect for my audience. An archetype is a... Oh, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Ah, I see. Ah, I see, I see. Something that's kind of complicated. Thank you for the another big emote. I appreciate it. That's me, which is British by your name. Some is based on, because I was really excited for this game called The Sum. But then I ended up like kind of flopping. But like I like the idea of being called like someone, and I kind of like got inspired, and I was like, oh, like you're like someone's, you're like I'm just like someone, you know. And Baka is because I was when I came honestly the Baka part is like the dumb part. I was just like a weeb when I came up with my name, and I was like, you know, I was just using random Japanese. Like the first half is like, you know, kind of fun. Second half is like I was a bit silly. But that's it. Really exciting, I know. The coffee cup is literally hiding in the grass at this point. It's like it's literally a reflection of my life. A reflection of my life. Portrayed in a coffee cup. Oh my gosh. I'm just poo-poo. Poo-poo face. Oh, I was called a poo-poo face today, actually. That was very kind. I did not enjoy being called poo-poo face. But I'll call this dude a poo-poo face, though. Because he is. Coffee is being modded version of getting down it. Oh my gosh, is it? I wonder if there's actual like a modded version of this game. I'd be curious. But also, if you want to know anything about like my emotes, my model, anything, it's all like like below. If you have a look at credits, and it is a direct link to the person who made it, so you can always like check them out through there, which is really cool if you want to. But this one was like designed by Mako and modeled by MOBA. But I kind of like, okay, so I kind of I'm kind of working on like the physics of my model, but the more and more I work on it, like obviously you guys don't see that. The more I'm like dislike, not like just more like the functionality of it. Like I love being 3D. I'm always gonna be 3D, I think. It's more like I would have done things a bit different, like the hair. So like I can't adjust the physics of this hair because it's literally what, oh my gosh, the way they've done it is like it's like blocked. And it's like a pain in the butt, really. Well, ugh. So yeah, I will be getting, oh well, yeah, I will be getting a new hair soon. Something that is more fun and exciting for me. No problem. No problem. If you... Yeah, I try and credit everybody in the credits. Because, you know, we wanna be nice. Oh my gosh. And also, Old B is credited too, because we love Old B. Oh my gosh, I feel like I am not making progress now. Like, I was doing so well. I was doing so well. And now I'm like, I can't even get up anywhere. I can't get up. I can't get up. I'm doing the opposite now. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, come on, Sam. You can do this. I believe in you. I believe in you. Believe in the cheese. No! Believe in the cheese. Keep believing. Keep believing. Believe in yourself. Or else nobody will believe in you too. That's the file. Thank you. Arigato. Gambale, gambale. Okay. Well, thank you for the hydrate. Let me just try and like squid myself in here. Okay, wait, stay there. Lois, stay there. Don't move a muscle. If you move a muscle, I will get you. I'll get you. I'll get you. Okay. Hey, drink my drink, and have a good day. I gotta run. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you. I appreciate you for stopping by. It was lots of fun seeing you. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever time it is for you. Have a good one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ah! That's what I think too. Oh my gosh. I'm crying. Okay, come on. No! Get! No! Rah! This is getting over my sanity, you know? Getting over my sanity, but I don't actually have any sanity left. Whoop. 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 Why on earth are you putting yourself through this torture? Because you guys worked so hard to contribute to it. I have to. Legally. I am legally blinded by Twitch chat. No! Hi Ruben, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. It's a legal requirement. Ah! Oh my gosh, okay, this is... I will do this. I will do this. I will do this. Oh my gosh. Why can't I do this anymore? It's like the easy parts I can't do now. It's annoying me. You're annoying me. Come on, use your muscles.
Hang in there. Don't let it get to you. But also, let it get you a little bit.
Oh, dude. I will never let this get to me. This is not... what were you saying about working hard? Go ahead with an ad. Wait. Oh! 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 Okay. Well, you guys worked hard for this. You spent all your channel points, so this is payback. This is what you get. This is what you get. But I hope you're having a good day. It's good to see you, Ruben. Oh! I'm stuck! Oh my gosh, your salad! Go and get yourself a salad, because I think that's what you need right now. Oh my gosh! Grr! 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 You did it. You're doing good. You're doing good. That's good. That's good. It's good to hear that you're doing good. That's good. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to keep my sanity right now. That is my aim. That is my aim of this game, is to try and be mentally stable as much as I can. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job at that. Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm being mentally stable right now? I hope so. Yeah! You think cheese? Thank you for the cheese. I even had cheese. I even had cheese, and the cheese helped me, and momentarily, and then look at me. I'm like useless now. Is the cheese stable? That is a good question. Am I stable, chat? Oh wait. Oh my gosh. Am I stable? Am I stable, chat? I hope so. I hope I'm the most stable VTuber, you know. With a mental stable capacity. Capacity. Yep, words are rolling off my tongue. I mean, you could be. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am capable. I'm capable of many things. I'm capable of doing this. Getting over it. That's what I'm capable of. And if you said I can't do it, I will say.
Listen, this is a little awkward, but you've clicked the mouse button 500 times now. I'm gonna say you're gripping the mouse a little bit.
I can't help it. I can't help it. Stop counting my mouse clicks. Oh my gosh. My mouse is like wet. It's so wet. I'm not even joking. Get up! What are you doing with your life? Honestly. Get a grip and just get over it. Man, like, I don't know what you're doing. Let's be real. Let's be real. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. I can do this. um... No! Yes! Yes! No! No! Yes! Stay! 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 No! 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 Don't! Up! 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 Get higher! Stay! No!
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
No! Thank you. Thanks for making me bold. Why am I so silly? This is so sad. Oh, oh my gosh. Okay. 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 Thank you for the head pats. Thank you for patting my bald head. I'm sorry, I've got a bald head. I fell all the way down to the bottom. Okay, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna put a song on. I need a song on to mentally recharge me. Because yeah, we're gonna put a song on. And I think that song is gonna be Poppy Pole and pretending that I'm successful. Life is good. Life is good. I'm not failing. I'm just winning in style. Poppy, 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 poppy. Okay, I'm winning. I'm winning. Da, da. You know what? I'm gonna add something. Oh my gosh, I'm like 2 hours in and I'm losing it. Okay. Okay, if you guys need a break as well, Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. And pretend that you have £1 million. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. Let's turn this up. Pop, 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 poppy, pop. Let's have a poppy pop break. Pop, 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 poppy, pop. Pop, 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 poppy, pop. Poppy, pop. This is how I feel about this dude right now. Do you think he's poppy poing right now? Juice. Okay, can I do this while I'm listening to Poppy Po? That's what I needed in my life. Oh my gosh! I was not poppy poing.
Into the sessions of sweet silent thought, I summon up remembrance of things past. I sigh the lack of many a thing I saw.
Me too.
Old woes new, wail my dear time's waste. William Shakespeare, Sonnet 30.
Well, you know what I think about that? I think that's a bit silly, and I want to cry. We can't go. If I could just keep listening to the music, life will be okay.
This is the foundation of eternal peace. Make anger your enemy. Harm comes to those who know only victory and honor defeat. Find fault with yourself and not with others. It's in falling short of your own goals that you'll surpass those who exceed theirs. Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Stop. Okay. No. Ah! Okay, okay, okay. Hello, Lord Racer, welcome in. How you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Okay. Sorry, I'm super concentrated right now. We can. We're here again. Weekend ago. How good is this difficult game that exists? Wait, it's actually. Wait. What is actually the most difficult game? I'm gonna actually have a look. The most difficult game in the world. Apparently Dark Souls, Ghost and Goblins, and Geometry Dash. That's very interesting. Cuphead. Super Meat Boy, Elden Ring, Bloodborne. Oh, okay, it's up there as well. It's also there. Oh yeah, I find Cuphead really difficult too. Yeah, it is up there. It is up there. It is a bit of a pain in the butt. But okay, the past half an hour I've been losing my mind. Okay. It started off like quite good, to be honest. We did make some good progress and we got quite far. But the past half an hour, I went all the way back to the bottom again from like pretty much like this point.
She smiled in defeat with unconquerable eyes.
And I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind. This game is called a rage game for a reason. I think I'm okay. I think I'm doing a good job at not raging. Like, I don't think I'm raging too much. Like, like I could have quit. Like, the moment I quit is the moment I rage. Games where you climb and have no full damage are difficult. Games where you are just a dude in a cauldron are pretty difficult. You little butthead. I've forgotten the movement for that situation. Weekend goes. Weekend goes. Oh. Oh my gosh, okay. I can do this. I can do this. I just...
wall here has a way of getting harder the more times you try it. I think anger makes you swing the hammer harder and that can push you away from the wall.
Are you saying I'm angry? I think the dude's saying I'm angry. What makes you think I'm angry? I'm never angry. I'm back. Welcome back, Lily, baby. You weren't gone too long. How are you doing? Ah!
Your failure here is a metaphor. To learn for what, please resume climbing. Rob Dubbin.
Stop! Stop! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stress. You're coping well due to an inherently sweet disposition. The power teams. Oh, well, thank you, Gretch. Yeah, of course. That's gonna be it, right? That's gonna be it. Oh, this is so stressful. The power Jesus Christ compels you. Thank you. It's okay. You don't take a nap now, but your body was like that. Ah, no, I'm sorry to hear that. It's annoying when it's like that. Hopefully, you can take a nap later. Oh, I hope. I'm hoping for you. Can I do how choosy am I? I have to wait. I've waited ages. I'm pretty sure I've waited for over half an hour. Wow. I gotta wait. Make me wait. I am the one who holds the power, and you're making me wait? You know what can make it a better feel than cars and water and milk? Well, is how will that fuel a car? Pardon me. Ugh. You took one earlier. I guess you were being greedy. I nap a lot because of chronic illness and stuff. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. I mean, I used to nap a lot when I was like on the amateur lean because I would be so tired all the time. So I get that. I get that. It's annoying. Sorry, I had to have another drink. I need to drink. I need to drink the pain away. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Da, 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 da. Ah! You see, just add alcohol to milk and you can find enough power to pump the car. Ew. You know what? If you could show me, that would be awesome. I would like you to do it though. You have to do this. Show me in a car, and it has to be evidence of you actually doing it. I would like to see hydrate girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I deserve to hydrate. I'm back, but only long enough to say goodbye. Unfortunately, no worries. That's a clown. That's a clown. No worries. I appreciate you for popping by and for checking me out today. It means a lot, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and night. Sending you lots of cheesy love your way. Why have I forgotten how to do this motion? I've kind of forgotten how to do this. What did I do earlier? I did this quite easily earlier, but I just can't remember how I did it now. Goodbye. Hope you have a good weekend. Thank you. Hope you have a good weekend too. The mechanics of the car would also have to change. Well, you have to do that. You have to do that. I need to see video evidence. Wait, how did I do the swing earlier? I just went like. Oh my gosh! I literally just I think I got amnesia. I can't remember how I did this. Oh my gosh! No, me too. I genuinely can't remember how I did this. Wish I could wake up from amnesia. Nan. How do I swing? Swing up, swing down. I'm just trying to think. Whoa! Hi! Hi! Oh, hello, Tiger. Thank you for gifting the sub. Oh, I appreciate it so much. It's very kind of you. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. Oh, because of that, I'm going to have a sip of my cider. Thank you, thank you. Happy Friday or Saturday, whatever day is for you. Happy days. I hope you're having a good day. I'm trying to use my brain right now. And use all my brain power. All my brain power. Oh, wait. Oh, thank you, Legally Baby, for also gifting a 2-1 sub. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much. I'll have another sip. I'll have another sip. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, thank you. Oh, it's good. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Ah, it's so good. It's so good. Yummy, yummy, yummy. But how's your week been? How's your week been? Has been good? Okay, wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, guys, you made me figure it out. You made me figure it out.
Laugh and the world laughs with you. Weep and you weep alone. For the sad old earth must borrow its mirth, but has trouble enough of its own. Ella Weaver Wilcox.
Oh, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I believe in it. Ned Flanders. Oh, Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. Do you guys remember this? Do you remember The Simpsons? The one will be called Howdy Doodly. Oh, that is what he says, isn't it? Haha. Oh. Remember when The Simpsons was good? Yeah, me too. Ssumbaka, how is Ssumbaka doing in the stream? Oh, Ssumbaka's doing good. She's checking again over stream. What? No way! Oh, don't tell me that I'm not scary. Oh, thanks, Sumbot. Wait, Sumbot will I win today? Oh. Tell me. Good luck again over it's all about penetrating the client. Oh, thanks, Sumbot. When Frank Grimes died. Who's Frank Grimes? As moments in the new episodes. I haven't seen like a lot of the newer seasons. I can't remember what I got up to, but I think I stopped watching it when I was like, you fool. And we did a bit of Osu. Now you're 910,000. Okay, I'm catching up. No way. I think yeah, that's really crazy. Congrats. Oh, I'll play some Osu tomorrow. Hopefully. Why is that so depressing? Yeah, I'll play some Osu tomorrow because I need to catch up to. I need to catch up to myself. Ah. Oh, thank you for the 300 biddies, Legally Baby. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm gonna have free sips. Thank you, I appreciate it. You unlocked my little dance. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you made me dance. 1, 2. Thank you for that drink. Thank you for that drink. I appreciate it. Oh, actually, I do actually have a wheel. And we did get, like, technically, like, that thing. So we could spin. Should we spin a wheel? I do have the wheel. Just in case. I had it up just in case. Magic 8 Ball did some. It was some win today. But yes. Ah, yay! You're gonna win. You clearly jumped the closest. You do it a lot. Wow. Yeah, of course. Okay, we're gonna spin a wheel. We got a couple of like little options. But yeah. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. This is so cute. It's cute. I love how it dances on my model. It's so much fun. Oh, chat. You can pick an item to put on my model. What item? Wait. What item would you guys like to put on the model? We can have a little chat vote. Oops, which one did I get? I just closed down OBS. That's great. What kind of items do you want to put on my model today? We can put. I feel like put item on me. It could either be. It could be cheese. It could be cider because I'm drinking cider, or maybe like a Dr. Pepper. What else do you think? Any of those. Any of those. Hi. Okay. Friendly reminder, please read the chat rules. Because if I don't see things, my dad does. So don't be gross. Thanks. Thanks. Wow. Don't be gross. Be okay. You clearly enjoy the climbs since you do it. Look, I do. I do enjoy it. Oh, thank you, Lickly Baby, for another a gifted sub. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Also, be sure to say thank you to everybody that gifted the sub. If anyone's in the chat, if you're not, then you know you're not. But if you are in the chat and you got gifted a sub, be sure to say thank you because it's very kind of them. So thank you. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. It helps. It helps. Every little bit helps. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to. Anyway, so I went to check my son. I came back. He said something about being gross. Yeah, someone was just being a bit. Well, I'm not a bit. Actually, really gross. But I didn't see it, and my dad was like, you know, yeah.
Something filled up my heart with nothing. Someone told me not to cry.
Just don't be gross.
My heart's cold.
Easy. Easy.
The arcade fire.
But also, we got a poll. What kind of item should we put on my model? We can put some cheese, some cider, could put some Dr. Pepper. That's all I can think of at that moment. Or anything else, which could be, I don't know, something. Oh my gosh, why? Okay, I need to like focus. I need to focus. 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 Like I said, one big this week. I went to say she's like, oh, thank you. Ah, no, 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 no. the googly eyes. Oh, that was so sad. Oh, I was doing so well. Oh my gosh. I got my money here. Oh, but I do appreciate, thank you. Yeah, if it happens again, we're banned. Yeah, like things like that. That's definitely like, yeah, yeah. I know, so you can buy more than once to get extra cheese. Yeah, you can. If you have extra cheese, you can, you can go crazy. Sucks to be them. Maybe they should read the rules. Literally. Like, if you're not sure, like, there's lots of ways to look at the rules. You could do exclamation mark help. And then it'll tell you what command you can use for the rules, or just scroll down, or literally, I don't know, use your brain. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Or maybe lemon cheesy. Lemon cheesy, oh, sounds good. Look at the coffee, yeah. It's like, it's in the corner. It's in the corner. It's looking so sad. It's looking so sad right now. Ah! Ripperino. You're making me want to reheat my Wisconsin 6 cheese pizza. Oh my gosh. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh. No! Some! For goodness sake.
And I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep. Oh, God,
I'm weeping right now.
the tighter clasp. Can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?
A dream within a dream, in a dream, in a dream. Stop. Get some help. No! Oh my gosh, I have to.
Can I see another's woe and not be in sorrow too? Can I see another's grief and not seek for common relief?
Oh my gosh, we studied William Blake at school. That's funny. 6 cheese and parmesan stuffed crust. Oh, where'd you get your cheese pizza from? Or did you make it yourself? Because that sounds. I'm actually really intrigued. Oh, I love a good cheese pizza. Like, you know, a good cheesy pizza that's like, you know, got good cheese on. You know, there's like some cheese pizzas that like have a sprinkle of a cheese and it's like, what is this? This is not what I want. I love a nice cheesy one. Oh, Domino's. Oh, Domino's is really expensive. Like, I do like Domino's. It's just I can't justify the price. But maybe, honestly, actually, maybe we should get Domino's one day. I did actually get a nice paycheck this month, so maybe we could treat ourselves. Yeah, we'll have to get one soon. It's been a while. Yeah, should we get? Do you want to get one next week, Opie? Because I'm working a lot of hours. We can order one maybe after work or something. Yeah, sounds good. Oh my gosh, legally, maybe you just inspired me to get a Domino's next week. Thank you. Just mention so much cheese and some plastic. No, literally. That's what does it for me. It's cheese. I'll at least try it if you can. Yeah, I'll see what they have. I haven't actually looked at the menus, and if they even have that as well. Well, it does sound actually really good. And now I really crave pizza. I really crave pizza.
If I'm messing you up, you can mute me in the settings.
I want pizza, pizza. Pizzaが好きです。あ、whoa! Eating leftover spicy curry. Oh, nice. Enjoy your curry. I think we had a curry a couple weeks ago. 2 for Tuesday. Do they still do 2 for Tuesday? Because like I finish at 6 o'clock on Tuesday as well. It's a full day, 8 to 6. Oh, we're gonna put cheese. We're gonna put cheese on my model. Okay, okay. I'm gonna put some cheese. Okay, okay. Let's put him in there. Let's put him there. He can just chill. And we're gonna put some cheese. Yeah. Let's put some cheese. Okay, I'm gonna hide myself for a second. On the website they do what we have to do on the day. Yeah, yeah. Because they might say they do, but then they might lie to us and be a silly. Wait, is that the one? Nope, that's not the one. I did make myself a new cheesy eyes, but I don't know if it's saved. No, I didn't. Okay, I might have to remake that. But okay, we'll just get a normal. Should we just get a cheese sticker? Let's just get a cheese sticker and put it on because I don't really fancy remaking a prop right now. I don't. Let's put some Wednesday dough. Wednesday dough and cranberry, I think, because you know you can't go wrong with a good Wednesday dough and cranberry because it's so good. It's delicious. It's my life. It's the love of my life, and I love it. Where are they? It's so good. It's so delicious. Wait. I'm gonna put Spinny Cat up there. Put cheese here. Wait. Wait, Spinny Cat. Where's Spinny Cat? Oh no, I think I've attached Spinny Cat to the cheese. Wait, Spinny Cat can go on my shoulder. Yeah. And you can go there. Oh wait, okay, wait. I'm using my brains. Use my brains. Use my brains. I like to get my own garlic parmesan sauce instead of red sauce. Sounds nice. But I didn't say barbecue. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like barbecue. Wait, I'm gonna put cheese on my shoulder. Yeah, I'm gonna move. Cat can stay there. Cheese can stay there. There we go. There we go. I didn't know where to put everything. That's just stressed me out. The guy at the pot must have arms of iron. I think he actually does. Like literally, like have you seen this dude? Have you seen this dude? He is strong. He is stronger than anything. If Jesus was a person, I'd marry honestly. It's a shame sometimes. You know what? Wait, like what kind of cheese? What kind of cheese would you marry? Like what is your favorite cheese? I don't know. I'm like, this is I wonder like do you think this guy has legs? Do you think he has legs? Chat, yes or no? Colby Jack or Parmesan. See, I feel like I feel like those two are really like common types, and I don't want to be common. Like, I feel like so many people love those, especially Copy Jack. Honestly, I never really heard of it before until I started streaming, and then like literally it's like every other person's favorite cheese. I call him Legolas because he's legless. I don't know if his legs would be unless it's like a portal in there. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like, you know, when you play Portal and like his legs are just floating in another area. No! 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 Okay, that was close. That was close. Oh, I miss playing Portal. I actually really love that game. Portal's such a good game. Has anybody else played Portal? Mm. Someone there's an orange portal, this guy's legs are hanging out. Oh my gosh, yeah. And they're just dangling and they're like, what is going on? Why is this person's legs are just there? And then they try and walk through the portal and then they're like entrapped into a cauldron. I also love Miss. Oh, the one you mentioned earlier. I can't say that. Monster, Brie, good, FSS, like yeah, they're good too. They're good too. But I haven't tried the one that you mentioned earlier. But I'm curious. I'm always curious to try new cheese. Try new cheese is exciting. Wait, sequels. I played both of the games by myself. I never played with anybody. And it was really fun. It was really fun. It's really hard. Well, but it was really fun too.
In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Lewis Carroll.
For goodness sake. Oh. You little butthead. Okay, if we reach 10 falls, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, you like Portal's great. Portal's great. I think I've only seen VODs or like other clouds with two people playing it. Really, really. I mean, I've always played by myself, but I love it. Well, how's it going thus far? Well, as I don't know if you can tell, but I'm at the beginning. Hi Egg, how you doing? Welcome in. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. But I feel like I did okay. It's just like I'm kind of stuck. I've gotten to a position that I keep doing really, really badly, and it's really, really annoying. You're chilling? Oh, nice, nice, nice. I love chilling. Hi, Josham. Awesome. Yeah, I hope you have a good week, though. Hope it's been a nice week. Oh, my... Yeah. She's doing her best, thank you. I am doing my best. I'm trying. I'm trying. She made it to the top and popped to the bottom twice. Not once, but twice. Oh my gosh. And it was really, really unfortunate. It was really unfortunate because I haven't gotten any further than the points that I've fallen like before. And I'm like, what the heck? I keep spinning. Oh my gosh, okay, I need to like mentally prepare myself. Oh, these games are mentally drain me. I obviously I can't play with my crush on. Literally, I feel like this is like the one of the times that I've actually screamed on stream. I'm not much of a screamer, but like, oh yeah. I played Pogo Stuck for a few hours and made zero progress. What's Pogo Stuck? Is it similar to this kind of game? Is that a game that I need to look into now? Oh my gosh, why can't I do this? It's so simple. You're playing New 40 Plus. I'm making my own game. It's like this, but it's harder because of the mechanics. Oh, I can't do something harder. Wait. Have you played this game before, Egg? If so, have you completed it? My gosh! I'm gonna punch my screen. No, I would never punch anything. You haven't. Oh, okay. You know what I have played? My life. Okay, up we go. Up. Oh my! Shut up. Honestly, I'm so sweaty right now. It's so disgusting. Like, my hands are sweating so much and my mouth is like wet and it's like, oh my gosh, it's disgusting. And it's nearly midnight and I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great because when I go to bed, I'm just gonna be like in a pool of my own sweat. Oh my, why can't I? Okay, I need to. Okay, I think I'm just being really stupid now, and also I think I might be like kind of going through it. Live for streamers who play games like this, like genuinely can't. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel like all the progress I made is like I can't even. I can't even. That's all I can say. I can't even anymore. Oh my, why am I just clipping it? Girl. The coffee is her true love, and she climbs the more she wants to be with the coffee. Yeah, that sounds about right though. That sounds about right. But, you know, why can't, you know, wait, actually, imagine if it was like actually a cheese though. Like, I would obviously be wanting to revisit the cheese. Or inside the coffee cup is like a bunch of cheese, you know? It's where I store my secret cheese. Oh my gosh. Goodness sake, girl! Even the neighbors like, good job with the players. It's like get over it. And you're like, you can't because you're like stuck in a position. It's just frustrating. Wait, we're gonna take a minute. Let's take a minute. I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna move my legs as well because I am taking my socks off because I've been in my socks since 7 a.m. So I think it's about time I take them off. The game would be less ragey because I'm not better frotty. Yeah, like look at him. Look at him. Like what's going on in his mind? Honestly, probably not much. Drink some water. Okay. I will. I need a drink. Honestly. Thank you for the stretch. I'm actually going to stand up for a second because my butt is sticking to the chair. Because I'm wearing shorts and like the back of my thighs are like really gross on my chair. Ugh. Ouch. Ugh. Stretch. Stretch up tall like a tall bean. And stretch up low like a baked bean. Just becoming a bean. You look like a bean. Do 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 do. I love beans. Okay. Okay. I'm going to. Can I ask how cheesy am I? Is that gonna work now? Oh my gosh, Sumbot. Why do you hate me? Ssumbaka, let's keep it family friendly. Oh, okay. Baited bean. What's a baited bean? I need a joke. I need a joke right now. What do you call the snow that's always warm? A wee snow. Warm snow. A heated flake. Okay. What about a joke about cheese? What do you call the grilled cheese sandwich that's all in your face? Too close for comfort food. I'll do like a nice cheese toasty. They are pretty delicious. Excuse me. That one made you chuckle. That one was a lot better than the other one. In my opinion. But I'm glad you had a chuckle. Oh my what? I feel like the next hour it's me just gonna be crying. Oh, the cheese equivalent to I can't believe it's not butter. It's too good to be true. Oh my gosh, yeah. Literally. I like saying that though. It's too good to be true. I can't believe it's not cheese. Oh my gosh. Oh, actually, speaking of like cheese that's not really cheese, I tried the plant-based Baby Bells. I'm like, okay, they're okay. Dad didn't like them, but the thing is, they're really, really hard. They are like rock solid, and you could like knock somebody out with it. Like, they are so hard. I'm bad at making grilled cheese. My computer is in a different room, so I prepared the sandwich until I smell carbon. What? Are you making your cheese toasties in your room on your computer? Gretch, are you okay? Cheese puns are fun. Oh, cheese puns are so good. They are so cheesy. I love the cheesier. The cheesier the better. It really does it for me. Do do. Oh no! Oh, the stove! Ah, the stove got bugs. I got distracted. Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought you meant making your making them on your computer. Imagine though, that's a revolutionary idea that I've just given you for free. It doesn't get any cheddar than this. Wow. I love it. I love it. See, I'm not clever enough. I can't think of them like at the top of my head, and I'm like, wow, you guys are so clever. I could probably from a GPU. Try it, please, please. I feel like I need to see this. Okay, we are here again. We are here. We have made it to this point again. This is the third time I've reached to this point. Are we gonna do it? I don't know, but let's try. And welcome back, Zero2. How you doing? Sharp Shadow. But oh, Sharp Shadow runs in the family. You know what? I wish I had that. My wit comes from nothing.
Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. William Shakespeare, Measure for Measure.
Okay. I need you to like, I need you to get good. Ah! I wish you could turn the quotes off. Why? I like them. They're motivational. You can turn them off in the settings, but I quite like them. It reminds me I'm not alone. Okay. Okay, 3. Okay, if I need to. Okay, this is the furthest I've ever gone. This is the furthest I have ever gotten. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. Mark this down in your calendars. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
There's 3D models of breakfast. Gen X's fanfic novels. Scan magazines.
Wait, where do I go?
Shia LaBeouf banned snuff scenes on Live Leak. Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups. Car crash epic failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled.
Lovely.
Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds.
Way to go. Thank you. Thank you.
And there's years of persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
Ah! It's okay, that's the name when I would say thank you. Get over it! How the heck do I get over this? That's a good question. The question of the decade. Oh my gosh. Oh! Whoa! No! 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 No!
Just listen. Jennifer Aniston.
I'm crying. I'm crying. This is not real. This is not real. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe my eyes. With 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. Lit up the world as I fell asleep. Oh my gosh, I'm like shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. What are you doing? Went to the trash roofs in Kowloon Wale City. I don't know what that is. There should be checkpoints. like enchained together. Well, I have heard of that one, but I'm pretty sure that one's like a two-player game, though, isn't it? No, but this game is like nah, you gotta suffer, you gotta suffer. If you fall, you fall, and that is the point. You fall, you cry, you live, you love, you lie. Do 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 do. Do. Nope. Nope. Dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. No! No, are you serious? Are you serious? I can't. In Hong Kong in the 90s and 80s, there was an automatic zone with buildings that essentially had their own super dense city, and people would just pile all the garbage on the roof and be like, oh. Yeah, the thing is, in Hong Kong, it's so overly populated. It's actually really sad. It's really sad. And I'm trying to. Oh, like every time I watch like one of these documentaries, they make me so sad, and I'm like, also grateful for the place that you live in as well. And it's like, oh, makes me sad. I don't want to be sad, but we live in a society where some people aren't very nice.
Don't cry, baby. Baby, after I'm gone. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry after I'm gone. I'll get a good man love you, and I ain't done nothing wrong. Just lay my body, baby, in 6 feet of ground.
Oh my gosh. You see more densely populated all over the planet's surface than American football fields. Yeah, it's like that in the ocean though, it's horrible. It's actually like so disgustingly like overpopulated of like rubbish and disgusting things. Makes me so sad. Mid-90s because there's too much to city in Hong Kong to handle, but in every heyday it was a scary place, yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like, yeah. Yeah. Ah! What the heck just happened? How did I fall? Everyone here loves to complain, but then we go to the grocery store and choose a 24 bracket or peanut butter. Yeah. Yeah, like, literally, like, we are very privileged. Not everybody has that luxury. Ugh. Okay. Wisconsin grocery stores have an entire section dedicated to cheese, like 2 aisles. Wow, really? That's insane. I mean, I would love to visit that, honestly. That sounds amazing. But also like, like you also want to support like the local cheese business as well. Because they work really hard. This is so much. I live in Green Bay and I feel like home. Oh, that sounds awesome. Honestly. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm becoming delirious and just like chucking the hammer everywhere and not really concentrating. Well done, Sam. Okay, come on. Come on. Get your butt up there. Get your butt. Move your butt. Or move your cauldron more like. Move that cauldron. Move it. You can do it. We believe in you. Oh, no, yeah. All the cheese was locally or at least regionally sourced since almost all the cheese in the US comes from Wisconsin. Yeah, that makes sense. That's really cool. It's really cool that you can get like nice fresh cheese locally. I mean I can too. I can too. But like no, that's so cool. That's so cool. Especially the cheese caves. I wanna visit the ones I know there's cheese caves in Scotland. I wanna visit those ones. That'd be really cool. That would be awesome. Cast iron posterior. Oh, I love that one. That's great. I might use that one. Just start calling people that and they're like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh. And it's like you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. It was nice to be able to support local farmers. Exactly, exactly. It's always good to try and support locally when you can. Even even if it's like a little bit more money. Also it's like then it's also nice. You feel good and it normally tastes like a lot better and good vibes. Anyone who knew this game would probably get it. Yeah, true. 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 I don't know why I'm saying true like 5 times. Oh my gosh, why? What am I doing? Anybody who knows this game understands the pain that I'm going through right now. How far did we get? So the highest I've gone up to is so up here, and I got like a part of the way up like like there was like chairs and stuff. I don't know how to describe it. But how are you doing, Crow? How are you doing, Crow? How's it been? I hope you're having a good day. He's got to be a bit pretty down there. Ew, yeah, absolutely. Um, so it's been a pain. Yeah, it has. It has. But it's been fun. It's been entertaining. Um, but it's fine. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. I've actually already seen the cheese hats. Um, because I actually want to get. I'm actually. I'm like kind of inspired by them. Like I kind of want to put like get a cheese hat with my cheese outfit, and then just be crazy. That'll be the one. That'll be the one time I'll have like an actual body reveal. But I don't actually. I'd be in cheese costumes, so Go on. Go on. No! 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 What are you doing? Why are you like this? Just a person size. Jeez, what? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'll be. That is my cosplay. That is the only cosplay that matters to me. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. How long has it been? How long has it been now? Oh, why is it not? Oh my gosh, you stupid man. What are you doing? Just go. Just go. Hi, Guy. Welcome in. How you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah, I'll pass it. I'll have something crossed again, but maybe this dude's life has been crossed by me. Yeah. How do you feel about that, you dude? Oh my gosh! Why can't I do this anymore? He is my enemy. He is my sworn enemy. We are not friends. We are not friends today. No, sorry. Okay, stay. Stay. One of my most prized possessions is a sterling silver band of a 9-carat gold cheese wedge. Oh, it's actually real. No way. I am so jealous. That sounds lovely. Wow. No, I think I got flea bites on me. Is that flea bites or mosquito bites? Oh, for goodness sake. Sorry. I guess it's getting over its frustration. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have been doing this for hours and I'm losing. Am I getting over it? I'm getting over my life. Maybe. 10-4s we're still staying low key with the crash out. I'm not staying the aura farming with that. Thank you, thank you. I'm trying. But wait, that means even okay, if I had 10-4s, that means I got to do like 50 squats. And oh, I have to save some time for that. Or jumping jacks, even though it's like nearly 1 a.m. I'm glad that I was tempted to do 10, but I was like, what if I fall loads? I won't be able to leave the stream. Dear. Oh, I should know better than handle it well. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. But also, how are you doing, Guy? How's your week been? Have you had a good week? Get up here! Get up here! There we go. There we go. There we go. Markiplier, chill Guy for a chair. Let's fail. I suppose that has happened. I don't suppose that's happened to you yet, so you're aura maxing right now. Thank you, thank you. No, I haven't thrown a chair. I haven't thrown a chair. There's The closest I've wanted to do is slam my fist on the table, but I didn't do that. I wanted to, but I didn't. Straight up aura maxing. Thank you. Thank you. It's years of practice. What can I say? You'd be totally justified if you did. Yeah, I know. But I have to stay strong. Some might not be the most anger control individual I know. Thank you. I mean, I try and be quite an understanding person. Nope. There we go. There we go. Okay. We're here again. I think I do quite a good job at being chill. Oh my gosh. No, if I fall, I'm gonna cry. Don't fall. Let go. Let go. Slowly. No. Hi, Trophy. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Where am I going? Where are you going? Go this way. Stop going the opposite way. It's not opposite day.
Pain has an element of blank. It cannot recollect when it began, or if there were a day when it was not. It has no future but itself. Its infinite
You got my button for the with anger.
realms contain its past, enlightened to perceive new periods of pain. Emily Dickinson.
I'm gonna push the wall if I fell 3 times. Hold that up. Oh, it would hurt me more than it would hurt the wall since I felt like a tag. I'm just really crashed out at that point. Oh no, honestly, I'm feeling it. I am going crazy. I'm losing it. But hi, Troppy, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Got some cheap American tribal. I don't feel like a Kyle. Wait, is a Kyle like a Karen? Oh my gosh. Sounds staying low-key at the rage is insane. Yeah, I'm always low-key. When aren't I? I'm literally right at the bottom. Years of practice. I will coach you. To be in this stable. Oh my gosh, why am I flicking myself in the air? Girl, what are you doing? You're literally off your rocker. A Kyle is a dude bro who chugs tons of Monster Energy drink and punches holes in walls when they get angry. I mean, I drink Monster Energy drinks, but I don't punch a hole in the wall when I'm angry. No, just a second monster because Pipeline punches my love. Wait, what am I drinking? What am I drinking right now? I actually have Pacific Pacific Punch with me right now. Crazy. So, are we fit for the Cheeserino roulette? Aww, 570. That's nice. That's nice. Like the peachy keen. What's that one? The big punch is good. It is. It is. It is. Oh!
Oft expectation fails, and most oft where most it promises, and oft it hits where hope is coldest and despair most sits. William Shakespeare, all's well that ends well.
Your butt ends well. I have like a 5-hour energy something hyper. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh yeah, it might take some time for the command to come through. So just give it until like the next stream and you'll be able to use that command. Oh, someone love. You know the drill. You know the drill. The cheese drill. Oh, you lost your cheese. I should have warned you that I lost my cheese thread earlier too. They don't get angry much. Yeah. Literally. Literally. Oh my gosh. It's not fun being angry. You know it is, but what it is fun. It is fun to be successful. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What's wrong with lasers in your chest? Oh no, oh no. You'll be remembered. You'll be remembered. Wait, can I use the command now? Because it wasn't working earlier for me. I was really annoyed. Yes, it keeps on telling me to wait. And I've been waiting for over an hour. And it's my right. I deserve to know. I deserve to know. Oh my gosh, get up there. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Half an hour is... but it will tell you. It will tell you. They won't fire, the law has changed. It's not to stupid cheese. Hold for hostility. You'll need to wait until the next stream. Sorry, you're both pink, so I can't tell who I'm talking to. I base it for color coordinations rather than names because my brain cannot. Oh my gosh. No worries. Don't worry. Be cheesy. Do 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 do. Oh! Don't worry, be cheesy. Exactly. Exactly. Spoken. Yeah. Oh my gosh, why is it? This is just... Oh my gosh. Wait, will it work for me, LB? Because it wasn't working for me earlier. Because it keeps telling me to wait, and I've been waiting for over an hour. Works for you. Yay! 390. Oh, why is it? If we're going to further cheese debt, there'll be a ground troops. I'm already in a lot of cheese debt, don't worry. Oh my gosh! I'm so tired. I'm really tired. Oh. Yeah, red doesn't work for anybody. Oh! I think some bots having a moment because it's saying that they chose black, but they chose red, but they chose black. I think it's yeah, because it's having issues with me too. Some bot chose you anyway. Yeah, you don't. Some bot's not giving you any choice. That's like a bunch. You're not allowed to get choice anymore. Not apparently. Apparently. Come on. Not fair. You know what's not fair? Having no cheese. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm losing my mind. Chat, is it okay to call it quits? Will I be a loser if I call it quits? Because I'm actually about to... I'm going to cry. I can't. Oh my god. I can't. My mouse is so wet. I can't hold on to it anymore. Look in, I can't. I can't do this anymore, guys. I'm so tired. I want to punch this dude in the face. I actually hate him. Oh, I'm going down. Oh my gosh. Oh! Stop going down! Oh my gosh, I give up.
Even as the stone of the fruit must break,
I literally am raging.
so must you know pain.
Yeah.
If you keep your heart in wonder
No.
at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. Khalil Gibran.
Yeah, I have no joy. I have no joy. My joy is gone. My joy is gone. I have none. That is all I have is pain and suffering, and I have gotten nowhere in my life, and that is my suffering for today. I cannot. I am about to literally beat this man up, and I cannot. I cannot. So let's stop and try it. Yeah, I will. 12 times 5 is 60. So I have to do 60 squats or pull-ups. So we'll put some music on while I suffer for a minute. In conclusion, that was not fun. That was not fun. It was fun until I wasn't having fun. And then, yeah. But was it a learning experience? Oh, yeah, it was a learning experience. It was something, let's say that for sure. Everyone can roll again. Wait! Why is it telling me to join Twitch? I can't chat in my chat. 17! What? What? 34? This is a hate crime. It goes up a long way. Oh yeah, it does. It does. Oh my gosh. I got to 34 and I just lost. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, I need to do 60. I need to do 60. So we need to count to 60. Do you guys want to count to 60 with me? Okay, wait, oh wait. We can't see my face. I'm gonna have to move my phone up. Okay, okay. It's a little bit different, but... Okay, ready? 1. Whoa, that's a lot of cheese! 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. I'll put my danger that happens to free. Switch over. Yeah, you will be in danger. Sounds like a perfect cheesy situation. Let's focus on the mission. Wow. I'm not crushing it. I've given up. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Oh my gosh, my thighs. This is getting to my thighs because I've been on my legs all day. Okay, we'll do 30 squats, I think. We'll do another 10. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. Oh my gosh, my thighs. 30. Okay, that's another one. Okay, we'll do... Okay, it's like quite late, so I'm not gonna do like full star jumps, jumper jacks. I will just do like the ones that are walking, because I will be dying. I will be dying. Okay, we're halfway through. I'm halfway through. I want to visit Europe. I do it. Well, one day, obviously, when you have the funds. Hi, Tenderloin. Welcome. How are you doing? Why are we counting? I'm counting because I'm counting all the falls I've had in getting over it. But we're halfway through. I need to do another 30. I'm dying. My legs are dying. 1, 2, 3, 4. My body's moving so weirdly. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I need to do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I need to move that down. I did it. I did it, chat. Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me? Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. We did it. The power of friendship, and we did it. Okay. My thighs are killing me. You don't control my actions? Good. Good. The bot energy makes my day. Me too. I love some bots. Oh yeah, it's nearly 1 AM here. Proud of you. Thank you, thank you. I mean, I could have kept on going, but honestly, I was getting so frustrated. Because I'm just so sweaty right now, and it's really disgusting. Yeah. But we did reach the top part a couple times, and it was really good. It was really good until I started getting tired. I'm gonna drink the rest of my cider and just like chat with you guys for a minute, and then we'll finish up. But if you guys really want to see me play Getting Open Stream Challenge again, we could do another redeem thingy. But I don't know. Probably not for a while because that was mentally draining. But also, I'm going to be playing lots of new games next week, which is really exciting. I'm really excited because the Switch is coming out. Please have a Sum army prepare a helicopter extractor. Wait, should I ask Sumbot? Sumbot, can I have an army? Is she gonna tell me? Hey Sumba, back at an army of what, miniature pandas, chilies? We totally cheers. Still getting over it. Oh, okay. Okay, we can have an army. That's allowed. Practice in the I've not practiced it in the meantime. Unless I want to have a death wish, I do not want to practice this in my free time. My free time is me to be sleeping. That is my free time, not to be suffering. I don't know what you do in your free time. A cheese ninja army. Oh my gosh, yeah. Wait, Sumbot. Can we have a cheese ninja army? Do you think she'll let me? Oh, a cheese ninja army? That's a cheesy. And also, let's see if we can get through the ninjas and take on that mountain and maybe conquer the chat. Oh my gosh, chat, we're gonna have an army. We're gonna have an army. Are you ready? We're gonna rule the world. And it's gonna be awesome. And our army is just a cheese army. Okay, we're gonna finish up in a minute, but I'll be playing some Osu tomorrow. So if you guys like Osu, I'll be streaming that tomorrow because I haven't played in a week and I need to get my skills up good because I've been enjoying playing it on the tablet. And it's been lots of fun. A helicopter extraction would be so good right now, mate. Although she might have that prepared. Possible mobile surface of air. Well, you know, you can always ask. You can always ask. If you ask nicely, anything is possible. You know? Ninjas are... but you can't see them because they are ninjas. No way. No way. I forgot the ninjas. Ninjas are ninjas and they do ninja-y things. Isn't that crazy? The good point, Gretch. Yeah, Gretch, that's so valid. Okay. Okay. We're gonna finish up. We're gonna finish up because I'm so sweaty and I am so disgusting. But nonetheless, it's been a blast. It's been fun. We have suffered. We have had fun. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed watching me suffer. Um, it's not often you see this, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. We are going to raid. We're gonna raid Ginny because it's actually her debut today. So we're gonna give her lots of cheesy love and support and all the cheese. Wait, will it let me raid her? That is the question. That is the question. Get some hostess out of sleep. Oh, I will. Oops. Because I absolutely need that because it's been a crazy one. It's been a crazy one. Oh yeah, the race gonna like yay. It'll be disgusting. Oh, right now, it's very sweaty, very wet, but it's fine. Thank you for the stream. Oh, thank you for being here. I actually appreciate you all for popping by today. It was really fun. I'm actually kind of surprised that I managed to play it as long as I did because I didn't think I'd manage to play it for like for an hour, but nearly 4 hours. Nearly 4 hours is good enough to be honest. You know, it could have been exactly 4 hours, but at the same time, when you've reached to a certain point, you know, you can't do much more than that. Anyways, hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. If I don't, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Sending you lots of cheesy love. You so much for your players. It's like, oh no, oh yes. Thank you for popping by from Twitter though. I appreciate it. Cheese, hello Raffles Love, welcome in. Hope you're having a great day. We're just about to end up, but I hope you're having a good day. And sending you all the cheesy love your way, and all the cheese, all the love, all the memes. Also, if you want to check out my socials, feel free to do that. I'm on everything and I post memes, so if you like memes, that is the perfect place for you. Anyway, I will see you later. Alligator, animal, crocodile. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raid! Meow. Goodbye, guys.